What's up, guys? Welcome to the show. So I just finished watching Terrifier 3, and this is my honest review of it. So first off, as it's classed in the genre of gore, it was a pretty gory movie, but I don't really understand why people were apparently throwing up from watching this movie. People couldn't finish it. People were leaving. I didn't really get that. I don't really understand that. It's definitely not the goriest thing I've ever seen. It's definitely not even close to the goriest movie I've ever seen. At several parts, I even felt myself laughing just because of how campy and goofy and everything, certain things just seemed, you know, like it was definitely probably like maybe the middle of the amount of like gore compared to other movies I've seen. I mean, storyline, of course, we all know the storylines in the Terrifier movies lack big time. Um, I mean, if you're really into the gore genre, I say definitely go check it out. If you're just into like horror movies, you'll probably just not mind it. If you're really just into kind of like the occasional gore stuff, like you probably won't really like it. I'm assuming that the people that were throwing up and stuff were just either the occasional kind of horror movie fan or just wanted to check out what all the buzz was about. Like I said, I found it really kind of goofy, campy. I was even laughing at several parts throughout the movie just because of how, you know, just ridiculous and campy it just seemed in a lot of parts. So, I mean, for me, it was definitely not the goriest thing I've ever seen. There's a lot worse stuff I've seen out there for sure. Like they kind of built it up to be like the goriest thing you'll ever see, and oh, it's so gross, nobody can sit through it. I've seen a million times worse. Like I can think of at least five, six movies off the top of my head that were 10 times gorier, 10 times worse than Terrifier. As far as but just period, like just movies all around movies are concerned, I'd probably give it like a four, maybe. As far as like the Terrifier is concerned, I liked part two better than part three. I mean, like, I found the bedroom scene to be a little bit better than, you know, 10 times the scenes in that movie myself. I preferred part two just because I felt part two had a stronger storyline. Part two was more invested in the characters. Well, part three just kind of tried to be a gore fest and was a little bit less invested in its characters, it seemed. I really liked the end of this movie though, like Terrifier 3, because it kind of hints towards there being a Terrifier 4 or showing you how there could be a Terrifier 4. So, I mean, which I expect with these Terrifiers, we're probably going to go up to Terrifier 55, I'm sure. But, I mean, as far as films and everything is concerned, and even gore movies are concerned, I probably give it an overall, like, as far as gore movies are concerned, in the gore genre, I probably give it like a five, just because, like I said, it's not the goriest thing I've ever seen. I don't really understand why people weren't able to finish it, why people were walking out on it. I don't really get that. Apparently, there was a couple scenes where Art, the actor who played Art the Clown, he was throwing up himself. I could see that certain scenes working through. I could see that, but I really don't understand why people were walking out on it, why people were throwing up during it. I don't really get that myself. I mean, I just watched it and it seemed kind of ridiculous and stuff myself. So like I said, I was laughing at a few parts. I found myself chuckling to myself. So it really wasn't anything great in the gore aspect. As movies were concerned, it was just okay. That's my thing. I'm a huge like Terrifier fan. Love Terrifier 1. Terrifier 2 is my favorite of the three. Terrifier 3 just felt like it was trying to like shock the world and be super gory, and to me it just kind of fell flat on that aspect. Tried a little too hard, made me giggle a little bit, but that's just my opinion. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and we'll check you next one.